Don't change the channel. Don't you touch that channel. Don't change the channel. Dr. Maria will be preaching the gospel. Don't change the channel. Call your family and your friends. Don't change the channel. Shekinah's on right now. It begins. With open faces, we behold His glory. Changing to His image. From glory to glory, to glory. Dr. Maria, changing message. Has a life-changing message. You're listening to Shekinah. You're standing in God's presence. You're listening to Shekinah with your host, Dr. Maria. Say it again. You're listening to Shekinah with your host, Dr. Maria. Don't touch that channel. Shekinah.
Judges chapter 7, 13 and 14. Here beginneth the reading of God's holy word. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream unto his fellow, and said, behold, I dreamed a dream, and lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of Midian, and came unto a tent, and smote it, that it fell, and overturned it, that the tent lay alone. And his fellow answered and said, this is nothing else save the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel. For into his hand hath God delivered Midian and all the host. The word of the Lord for the people of God. You can take your seat. Tell your neighbor, God will take care of your tent. Yeah, he'll take care of your tent. In case anybody going camping, I want that to resonate. God can take care of your tent. Well, today we continue with the series, Barley series. And today we want to deal with the topic, Barley Battle. Barley Battle. My husband's favorite scripture is found in Psalms 133. It is the essence of this scripture that is played out in our text today. Psalms 133. We're standing together for the word.
Behold, how good, how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, and ran to the skirts of his garment. As the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the months of Zion, for there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life forevermore.
Amen. Thank you, Elder Seaman. Church, understand this. God pours out his commanded blessings in a space and place called unity. A commanded blessing, listen here, is an in spite of blessing. It is a never saw it coming blessing. Lord have mercy. It is a blessing that your enemy thinks is in no way possible for you to receive. But I said that it's God's commanded blessing. That means that once God commands his blessing to you, nobody can take. Nobody can take. Lord Jesus. And all I yearn for is that God commands his blessing. Because then it doesn't matter what a man says. Because it is so. Glory to God. God lets us know that his commanded blessing happens when his people reach a place called unity. In other words, it is not about the numbers. It is about the oneness or the unity of the numbers that are present. Better to have 20 people in unity than to have 200 people all over the place. Now listen, this week I've been somewhat following the NRC, the National Republican Convention. And clearly, the aim of the convention is not to have everyone love or support Donald Trump. No. The goal of this convention is to have all to unite behind the person who won the fight to represent the Republican Party. The goal is to unite behind the party and not behind the person. Unity is vital in order for there to be a win. The situation is the same locally. Both parties must appear, appear united, or else the other party will win. This concept is not new. It's always been that way. Understand this, that in the Garden of Eden, there was the utopia of perfect unity until that old serpent came and brought about division. And since that day, even until this day, the devil seeks to divide and conquer. Church, let's examine this text and see how God desires to differentiate and defeat those who are not walking lock and step with each other as we deal with the following 3 points. Point number 1, too many. Too many. Point number 2, too mindful. Too mindful. Point number 3, too much. Too much. Let's deal with it. Point number 1, too many. For the people of God, there will always be an enemy. Can we settle that? Yes. Yes, there will always be present a set of people who are set not to mind the things of God, and it is this people who will automatically come against those who take God's word seriously and desire to live a life pleasing to God. Do I have anybody in here? I'm one of those people, Pastor. That it doesn't matter if it's 2016, if it's 2080. I desire to take the word of God seriously. It doesn't matter how much the world changes. It doesn't matter what goes on. I'm going to stand firmly on God's word. I take God's word seriously. Your enemy is your enemy because you have diverging opinions on major issues that position you at different ends of the opinion spectrum or at polar opposite ends of the moral spectrum. As we look at our text today, we see Israelites, the Israelite army, being led by a man, and his name is Gideon. Now keep in mind that Gideon did not ask to be used of God. So let me just settle something right here. You don't have to ask God to use you. You don't have to come in agreement with God to use you. When it's God's appointed time, he'll pick you up from wherever you are, and he'll make you do what he's called you to do. Oh, yeah, he will. Oh, yeah, he will. Got some people here say, I never join a church. I never go to her church. You know, I do her church. I never be under a female. All that, and you're here today. Yeah. Because I'm trying to tell you that when God, his schedule has you right smack in the middle of his timeline, then your time is up for disobeying God. Your time is up from having things your own way. Your time is up from doing your own will. It's time to do the perfect will of God. So Gideon did not volunteer himself to be leader of God's people. No, God literally pulled him out of his hiding place. Remember that? He was hiding behind a trash can. Come on now. I mean, he was. Yes, he was. God had to pull him out of his hiding place to set him in place to be used for his glory. You see that right there? That God is going to call you, not just to call you, not to make you famous, not to make me famous, but God is going to call you because there is something that he needs you to do so that he shines forth his glory. God does things like that. He does it. God uses the most unlikely people to lead his own people to victory. God uses the one who considers themselves not worthy, not trained, not professional enough, and not ready. Oh, my God. If you think that you're not ready, Y'all the one. Y'all the one. If you think that you don't know enough, y'all the one. Y'all the one. Because let me tell you how it goes. Here, catch this, catch this. You see, because when you are not full of you, then God doesn't have to do a work of emptying you of you. He can just fill you up with him. So he doesn't mind that you come into the kingdom untrained and don't have the knowledge of other people, because he himself will give you all that you need to do his will. Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. Look, it's not about your degree or your pedigree. It's all about the degree to which you want to do the will of God. Do I have anybody? I want to do the will. I want to do God's will. Just make up your mind. I want to do God's will. So God does this because God wants to make it plain that at the end, when the victory is won, that you and everybody else all around you will know that it wasn't you. You can actually say it wasn't me. And in that way, all of the glory, all of the honor, all of the praise, God, it belongs to you. I know I couldn't do it. God, you had to. You see, mankind predict victory according to numbers. Yeah, they do. Whether we're talking about a sports game, referendum, election, and the like, the victor is decided by a number. That's how it is. Yet God, I love it, he works differently. And this is what we are going to look at in the text. Verse 1, then Jerubbaal, who is Gideon, and all the people that were with him, rose up early and pitched beside the well of Herod, so that the host of the Midianites were on the north side of them by the hill of Moreh in the valley. Jerubbaal means let Baal contend. that means it's going to be contention, folks. Okay, that means it's going to be a contender. That means it's going to be a battle. No worries. We got Gideon. Gideon, what's your name mean? Gideon's name means hewer. Hewer. Oh, see, there's some of you don't know what that means. Otherwise, you want to rejoice. In other words, okay, to hew means cut down. In other words, though he did not want to fight, God had called Gideon to hew or cut down or to chop down Baal. I don't want to fight nobody. But when the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, when he places a Gideon-like spirit upon me, we're going to chop down some people. We're going to hew down some people. Because we've got to do the Lord's work. Now, I know there are many who believe that Christianity is all about being nice. All about being nice. But I'm here to tell you that the enemy of your soul does not play nice, and that God will place a fight in you, a hewer, Lord have mercy, in you, a chopper down of your enemies in you, a chopper down that will give you the victory over those who desire to defeat you. See, you just got to know that. Okay, well, God is saddle, Pastor. We have an enemy. Don't stop at the enemy. If you stop at the enemy, you'll start to feel weak. If you stop at the enemy, you'll start to consider the enemy. If you stop at the enemy, you'll start to consider all of the advantages that apparently the enemy has. So you can't stop at the enemy. You've got to realize that, well, God, you told me that I'll have an enemy, but you also told me that I'm guaranteed the victory. And so I don't know about you, but I get excited when I see an enemy, when I hear an enemy, when I read about an enemy, because that means Maria, that means you're going to chop somebody down. That means that victory is on the way. I'm not talking about my plan. I'm talking about the Word of God. This is how the Word of God, how it unfolds in the life of the child of God. And the key is, people of God, you've got to believe the Word. You've got to believe the Word. Church, I want you to note at this time that Gideon and the people are located at a well. Their tent is pitched near a well. Herod's well. Herod's well. A battle is coming. And God has them pitched near a well. Herod's well. Why is this important? Because the water that is being supplied will meet your basic needs. If you're going into battle, you're going to have to be supplied with water. So it's like this. They are pitched in the presence, watch this now, of living water. They are pitched near a well. They're not pitched near something that's going to run out. They're pitched near a well where you'll constantly have a fresh supply of water. Oh, I like that, church. Because when the battle rages, I hear you. Yeah. When things get rough, you can go and get a fresh cup of water, a fresh bucket of water from the well. Oh, and the battle's going to get tough. But you got to remember, I'm pitched near the well. Oh, it's going to get interesting. I'm pitched near the well. You're going to fight, you better have some water. That's all I'm going to tell you. We'll get to it later. Yeah. There's a battle going on, and the people are pitched near a well. The water's going to sustain them. It's the most important supply that you need during a time of battle. Can I tell you something? I hear you, Holy Ghost. When the enemy comes against you, when you get frustrated in life, when you don't know what to do, let me tell you something. Make sure you're near water. Come on up in here. Huh? Come on. Jesus is the living water. So you've got to make sure that you're near the well called Jesus. Because things are going to get rough at some point. Or they're going to get heated. And you'll need the water to quench your thirsty soul. That what you stand in need of, God says, I've got a well. Let me tell you something. That means God won't run out. Jesus won't run out. That whatever you need, he has for you. Oh, the battle's going to get hot, I'm going to tell you. It is. They're pitched. The Bible just doesn't say it. You say it? They're pitched near the well. So I want to remind you that you need water today, the refreshing liquid that will quench your thirsty soul. You know, Jesus himself, come ye that thirst to the fountain that shall never. Oh, stop it. Come on now. Come on now. Listen. Here, understand this. The well doesn't run dry, but people run away from the well. Yeah. Jesus is always there, always supplying. So if you become a Christian who becomes thirsty, who becomes dried up, it's not because the well isn't there to supply your need. It's because you moved away from the well. Gideon's men are well positioned. Geographically, they are in a great spot. Yet mentally, oh Lord, their numbers are off. This is an issue. If you are here, but you're not with the program, then you are a danger or a hindrance to the progress of the program. Look at verse number 2. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people that are with thee are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, mine own hand has saved me. So that tells me that God likes it when we get desperate. God likes it when we have no choice but to say, God, if you don't show up here, God, I don't know what God, I'm about to lose it, God. God says, here we go. Now I'm going to show up. Because at the end of this, I feel my help coming on. At the end of this, God says, I will get back my glory. I will get back my praise. I will get back my honor. Because it's the hand of the Lord that has given you the victory. So, we got it. Unity brings about the victory. You cannot have a huge army and that huge army actually be made up of different camps and different captains. Can't start a church within a church. All right. No. The army of the Lord, I love this. The army of the Lord consists of one captain and obedient followers. God is great at dividing to bring about unity. Hear me? Test 1. God simply asks those who are afraid to go back home. God said, this ain't even a deep test, this one here. If you're scared, get to stepping. Cut a step. That cuts the number down. Look at this. From 32,000 to 3,000. Can you imagine Gideon? Gideon was saying, okay, well, got this, boys. So cut this. Then the Lord tells him to test them. He's got 32,000. Test them. What am I asking them? Those who are afraid. Oh, Lord. All right, I got an announcement to make, army. This will not be held against you, because you know you got to set it up. Because these are men. I ain't afraid. But not me. Not me. Not me. So you got to set it up. This will not be held against you. You got to cushion it, girls. You got to cushion it. You have families home in your tents. You might want to go and protect them. You got to make it seem like they're going to protect something. So, that's good. So those of you who would rather not be involved in this collision, this conflict, you go home to your families and take care of them. So they wouldn't feel so bad. And all but 3,000 were left. What's that? 29,000. 29. Your army, Gideon, went from 32,000 to 3,000. All right. You would think that all is well. Can't get any smaller than 3,000. That's still kind of a good number. But God knows, Lord have mercy, that these 3,000 are still not in unity. Remember, it's about unity. It's not about numbers. It's about unity. You see, if you think differently, then you will respond differently during times of war. Do you hear me? Right. So test number 2. God orders Gideon to take the man down by the river. Have him drink some water. Let me tell you something. God will, oh Lord, I heard that Holy Ghost right here. God will test how you drink. Now let me take it somewhere else for you. Let me do an aside here. God will test how you drink water in his presence of worship. God will test how you drink of his presence. How you adore his presence. Oh, it's all a test. Today somebody was tested on how you drink in the presence of God. Can you get lost? So God will test how you do something that is so common, so everyday. God is not always looking at how you do the big things. No, he didn't test him, can you handle this sword? No, he didn't. Watch this now. He didn't test him by saying, you guys ready for this battle? Because we already know that the 3,000 remain. They're part of them, right? Take them down. God will eye you out on how you do everyday little things. Okay? Deacon Jamal, you represent one group of the people, one type of people. Deacon Anton, now let me tell you what to do. Let go. No, what? Let me set it up. Same glass. I'm going to take my time here. Same water. Same situation. Everything is equal. Everything is equal. As far as we can tell right now, there is no difference between these two gentlemen. You know what you got to do, gentlemen? At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Stop. Going. This man is so focused on the water and getting what he needs physically that he's lost all insight on the fact that he's a soldier. This man kept on just taking a little bit and looking, checking out his surroundings. Which one you want fighting with you? The one who is the one who is so concerned. Look at the water. Not a thing left. Not a thing left. Because all he cared about was, I want the water. But this soldier has in mind, there are still Midianites down in the valley. There are still Amalekites down in the valley. And just in case while I'm drinking this water, one of them climbs up, I will be ready for them. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, God therefore shows that the army is still divided. It's still not in unity. You've got one group of men, they drink as if they have no cares in the world. That was no cares in the world. They are focused solely on the water and their personal thirst. Others drink aware that the Midianites are at the bottom of the hill and that it is a time of war. Can I say something, church? If you don't understand that in Bermuda right now, in the world, it is a time of war, I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what you're paying attention to. This is the time where Christians will be certainly identified as Christians. This is the time when there will be even Christians who believe the Bible totally and Christians who say, well, I believe certain portions of the Bible. You've got to know that we are living in a time of war. Two different mindsets. God has Gideon to dismiss those who drank as if they were at the family picnic. Yeah. Now the numbers have dropped from 3,000 to 300. Seems like a loss to me. Seems like the numbers are low, too low to win. Yet while the numbers have decreased from 100% at 32,000 to just under 1% at 300. Church, hear me. 1% of unity is stronger and more powerful than 100% of division. Oh, come on up in here. You like that, Brother Kevin? Give me 1% of unity and I'll show you what God will do with unity. Give me a church that has their mind together, that has the mission together, that's focused on what we have to do. And I'm telling you, we will come out more than a conqueror. Oh yeah, God has proven that. God will use unity to bring about victory. Now that the numbers are settled, God now focused on something else. And that is settling the mind and heart of Gideon. Point number 2, too mindful. Yeah, there you go. This mind. Oh, Lord Jesus. I told you already, Seaman's lost her mind. Lost her mind. Because if it's my mind, I'm going to try to figure it out. But I lose my mind and I gain the mind of Christ. Gideon is too mindful. In other words, he is, watch this, overthinking. Can I get someone to confess, Pastor, I overthink sometimes. You know, on a Richter scale of 10, situation shows up. You know, you look at 1, but you're thinking 10. You're thinking this thing's going to be massive. The outcome's going to be horrendous. What's it going to look like after it's done? And that's when we overthink. Just like Gideon is overthinking. He's thinking with his own mind. Yes, watch this. He knows God is able, but he doubts his own ability to be enabled by God to lead the people in this victory battle. 9 and 10. And it came to pass the same night that the Lord said unto him, Arise, get thee down unto the host, for I have delivered it into thine hand. But if thou fear to go down, go thou with Phurah, thy servant, down to the host. God must cancel out the fear. See, Amina, if you're going to be with pastor, you can't have fear. It don't make, Not everybody can walk with pastor. Some people like, no, pastor. No, pastor. No. I got one person when I travel, they tell me, no, don't do damage to the building. Don't do any major collateral damage, When you're a leader and you operate without fear of men, it's only a particular type of people, A lot of people talk about black power and we're strong and all that, but man, I've learned that when the battle rages, look, I've learned from some church people. They talk about victory shall be mine and casting down and stepping on the devil and all that. I learned over the past year that just scaredy cats. That's scaredy cats. They would have been sent home with the 29,000, or they would have been sent home with the ones that drank that water real fast. I found that out. It takes a different type of person to stand with a fearless leader. A person, watch this now, who stands on the word of God. If God said it, I believe it, and that settles it, and you're not changing my mind because God never changes. Oh, God. So Gideon, we got to cancel out the fear in you because fear will cause you, watch this, to lose the battle before you start. God knows that Gideon is fearful. You might even challenge me and ask me, would this not mean that Gideon is not in unity with the 300 men? See, that's what a thinker was thinking, right? Well, let's talk about it. Gideon wants the victory, and Gideon knows God will give the victory. What Gideon must now claim is that God is going to use him as the leader. There's extra... it's a bit easier when you're not the leader. Because when you're the leader, the mics in your mouth, the cameras in your face, they're recording you, they're calling you all sorts of names, they're pulling down your family, they're saying all sorts of things. It's a different level that the leader has to deal with. And this is the situation that Gideon finds himself in. You want me to be the one? Me to lead this? So why does Gideon look upon himself with low esteem? Well, Gideon considers himself, listen now, to be little. Gideon considers himself to be common. Oh, I'm going somewhere. Recall, church, that this description of being little and common can be attributed to barley. Yeah. Barley is small. You know, we all like that song. Little is my when God is in it. Labor not for wealth or fame. There's a crown, and you can win it if you go in Jesus. See, we like these songs, but when you got us talk about living these songs, that's our house. What had, famous song, all the churches. This means war. But we had a time of war. I'm just trying to show you what's going on. Barley is small. Barley is common. Look at barley. Barley is not prestigious at all. Yet we also should recall that barley will last through tough environmental conditions. Oh yeah, tough times. See, you got to know how to survive tough times. Gideon is not walking in his calling as barley. And so God has to show him something. God has Gideon to take his servant Phurah down to the enemy's camp to hear something. Phurah. I love it. His name means bow. His name means bow. Now picture it now. Understand, church, Thurs' name does not mean leaf. His name does not mean twig or branch. His name means bow. In other words, this man is thick and strong. He's a thick and strong support. Come here, Janice. For Gideon. Let me tell you, if Seaman's going into battle, I need her. I need somebody who's thick and strong and been in some battles herself and withstood some time, so that in case I get a little bit of fear, she say, oh no, Pastor, what got this? What got this? Oh yeah, we're going to take this island. Oh, this island belongs to Jesus. They ain't hers. But we got this. Oh, it doesn't matter our numbers. Oh no, God has already given us the victory. Victory ahead. Victory ahead. Through the blood of Jesus. Victory ahead. Trusting in the Lord. I hear the conqueror's tread. By faith I see the victor. Victory ahead. So you can hang with a twig. God, when he is ready to confirm his purpose in your life, does not get you to walk with a leaf. A leafy Christian. A leafy Christian? A leaf leaves. A little bit of wind. I'm out of here. A little bit of criticism. I'm going. A little bit of nobody called my name. I'll check you later. Do I have any bows? Any bows? Huh? Strong Christian. Resolute. Thick. Can withstand it. Come what may. No matter what the enemy tries, I know I'm planted and I'm firmly fixed. Me no leap. I'm telling you, God, listen to this. God is going to use Gideon. So Gideon, in your season of being fearful, first with you. Now let's hear what's going to happen here. Let me say this for every leader needs a furrow. I need about 80 of them. I need about 80. That when they are having a moment of personal weakness, that they have furrow who is about to be strength for them. A bow of support. A bow of encouragement. You don't need, now watch this, you don't need furrow to take over in your time of weakness. See? Lord have mercy. You need furrow to take his position of uplifting the servant of God as a strong support. They go down and they hear something. 13 and 14. It reads, and when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream unto his fellow. And behold, and said, behold, I had a dream, man. I dreamed a dream. And lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of Midian, and it came unto a tent. See, let me stop there. When the enemy wants to destroy your tent, trust you me, God is setting up somebody who's going to destroy them. That what the enemy means for you, it's going to come back and boomerang against them. And listen, you don't have to plot and plan. Pray and leave it in the hands of God. And smote it so that it fell and overturned it, that the tent lay alone. And his fellow answered and said, this is nothing else save the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel, for into his hand hath God delivered Midian and all the hosts. Church, here we are. Barley loaf. Barley loaf. What they doing dreaming about a barley loaf? What they did, they don't want me to get the bread off. Because they know I'm being inspired by the Holy Ghost right now. One loaf, get the whole camp victory. Barley loaf. The enemy is talking walking, and they see that destruction is going to come into their camp and wipe them out. They see that the initiator or instigator of their demise is a small barley. The man who had the dream never saw Gideon. All the man saw was a barley loaf. Now, if you dreamt of a barley loaf, Tyra, I know she'd be like, inbox, Pastor, can I ask you a question? I had a dream of a piece of bread. I'm going to go get deep now and figure out what the bread means. Because that's not a normal dream. You know, you could dream of a dog running after you. You know, a cockroach, I'll be jumping up on it, something like that. A piece of barley bread. All right. Barley, and it's a small barley loaf. Now, as if this is not enough, out of their own mouths, here comes the identity. Look, let me tell you something. When you don't know who you are, listen to your enemy. Oh, your enemy knows who you are. They named the barley loaf to be Gideon. Now, you do know that there were Gideons amongst the people. You know who? Gideon Russell? You mean Gideon Haywood? Gideon Trott? Who? Gideon. Oh, no. This is Gideon, Lord have mercy, the son of Joash. They distinctly identify who the person is that God will strengthen them one measly common piece of bread. But God said, I'm going to use you to destroy the enemy. Their defeat will occur at the hands of Gideon. Barley. God is going to use a common, strong base grain to give his people the victory. Now recall that the appearance of barley also heralded the Passover season. Somebody going to die. Somebody is going to experience death. Now, just like last week, barley can survive strong weather. But somebody's going to die. So the enemy is actually saying that the barley loaf Gideon is going to cause death among them. Not merely a death, but that the death angel will pass over the Midianites, destroying them. So what destroys your enemy, God will keep you. Well, what could have destroyed you, God will keep you. Gideon, now imagine how he's feeling now. Oh yeah. Walked down there fearful. Needed Torah to strengthen him. But then he overhears his enemy identify him as the one that God is going to give the victory to. 15. And so it was when Gideon heard the telling of the dream and the interpretation thereof that he worshiped and returned into the host of Israel and said, arise, for the Lord hath delivered into your hand the host of Midian. Look at what happens when a leader becomes confident. He can go to his people, or she can go to her people and say, Shekinah, we got this. We got this. Remember that first forum when nobody knew about it hardly, and Shekinah showed up in strength? That's what you call a forum move. That's what you call a barley move. That when the church is considered a nobody, when the church is considered low grain, when the church is considered nothing but common, when the church is considered something that is not prestigious, God says, oh yeah? Well, guess what? In the month of June 2016, there still is no same-sex marriage because the church, a little small barley loaf, started something from one end of the island to another end of the island, and that God said marriage is between a man and a woman. God said that it's his will and a female, and we started at one end of the island, and our voice rippled through, and because of that, it tumbled through. And when the House of Parliament thought it was going to pass their civil union bill, when the Senate even tried to stop it, delay, God said, I've tumbled down, and I've given you the victory. Little is much. When God is in. See, what you have to realize, I'm going to jump ahead here, but the loaf is made up of grains. Huh? Little. So one loaf will give you a whole pile of, Lord Jesus, I feel like Cookie Monster, Sesame Street. One loaf will give you many victories. One loaf will give you a resounding victory. Time and time and time. Listen, don't give up on God. Don't stop serving God. Don't get frustrated. Victory is ahead for you. Get in. Now this information fueled Gideon to now act upon his forecasted victory. Huh? He divides his 300-man army into 3 sections, 100 apiece. Gideon is back at the Well of Herod now, and I want you to see something here. God shared me this. I'm going to hit it and run. He's back at the Well of Herod. Gideon, now you have water and bread. Bread and water. You have survival. You have what you need. That you'll continue in this victory. And you won't starve. See, you got to know, I got the bread inside me. What is the bread? The living word of God. Huh? That any time I'm going through and it looks like I'm starving, I'm in need of something. All you've got to do is go to the bread, go to the water, and God will refresh your soul, and you'll come up strong and ready to move forward and experience your victory. God will supply your need. God will fit you for the battle. Point number 3, too much. Let me say this, that with God for you, with God on your side, you will always be just too much for the enemy. You know, if you ever heard somebody say something like this, I heard, that's something else. Too much. If they say something like this, I've heard it. Yeah, a piece of work. Too much. Too much. That's when you have full confidence in the God that you serve. Now, sadly, our people, Bermuda, have substituted God for money, for politics, for positions of power. But I'm here to tell you that all power belongs to God. And that if you truly belong to God, God will take these base things to confound those who are wise in their own eyes. Seaman didn't have any money. Shekinah didn't have any money. But God supplied every need because it's his battle. The battle is the Lord. Too much. With God on your side, you will always be too much. Some people can't handle me. It's just too much. And they say, hey, I can't handle it. Too much. See, y'all watch out. Somebody, I'm going to take everything. I'm going to see it in a positive way. You go under? I can't. Too much. Too much. 18:19. This is Gideon. When I blow the trumpet, I and all that are with me, then blow ye the trumpets also on every side of all the camp, and say, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. Now please note, he didn't get so puffed up in himself, whereas he said, Gideon's sword. No. No matter how strong you are, no matter how popular you are, without God, you're nobody. So put God first. Oh yeah, God, I thank you. Trust me, every time I come through something, I say, God, I know it's you. I give him back everything. 19. So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came unto the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch. And they had but newly set the watch. And they blew the trumpets and break the pitchers that were in their hands. 20. And the 3 companies blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers and held the lamps in the left hands and the trumpets in the right to blow withal. And they cried, the sword of the... They ain't got a sword. Okay, understand that. Jesus. They have lanterns, pitchers, and trumpets. But they're saying the sword of the Lord and Gideon. So it's not about what you possess. It's not about what you can handle. It is about your faith in God, the sword of the Lord. Glory to Jesus. Church, I'm excited to show you something here. You will understand the mind of God and how God works. God had originally, I'm going somewhere you've not heard it before, I promise you. God had originally told the 32,000, remember how we started? Those of you who are afraid, you need to go home. He told them that. Please note that when Gideon and Thurs were listening in on the conversation, they were hearing the voices of those who were afraid. Fear is going to bring you defeat. God gets rid of in his army what's present in the other army. Your numbers don't defeat you. It's the disunity that defeats you. God made sure to get rid of the fearful ones, and they overhear the fearful ones in the Median army. I'm not finished yet. God had revealed to Gideon that he was going to fight a large army, but that in that army there were those who were afraid. Now what you must understand here is the nature of people. If these 2 Midianites, come on now, were talking about how they were afraid of defeat, they were not the only ones. So there is mass disunity in the army of the Midianites. Now let me read verse 22. And the 300 blew the trumpets, and the Lord set every... love it. And the Lord set every man's sword against his fellow, even throughout all the host. And the host fled to Bathsheba in Zareth, and to the border of Abel-Meholah in Tabak. I got to show you one more thing. You've never seen it before. These are not the 2 same men. Come here. Grab a knife each. But, oh, that's good that I'm using them. Okay. Remember the second test. In the second test, God removed those who did not pay attention. Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm going to take it to the next step further. God removes those who will make mistakes because they're not paying attention. So, face each other. No, don't face each other yet. No, yeah. So, in the new watch, in the wee hours of the night, or early hours in the morning, when Gideon's army comes in, now you know if you're sleeping and you hear clash, blow, you hear all that. The army of the Midianites grab their knives. Don't hurt each other. This is not black on black violence. Go. And they turn on each other. Somebody kill somebody. I said somebody kill somebody. Take them out. Take them out. This is important because that's what happens. Because what? Rather than, take your glasses back up. Same glasses. Right. Rather than taking your time and watching who you're fighting. No, it's nighttime. What? I'm up. Hitting everybody. You see how it happened? So God got rid of, in Gideon's army, those who were not going to be paying attention. But those that were not, plenty of people not paying attention in the Midianites' army, so they turned on each other. Gideon didn't have to kill them. They killed. on themselves. I'm going to say it again. God gets rid of in his army what he knows is going to show up in their army. God creates unity, one purpose, and then shows us all this disunity. It don't matter that it's 300 of Gideon's army and thousands and thousands, probably 40,000 plus of the Midianites and Amalekites. All that matters is God's army is in unity. That's right. You saw him kill that God? Neener. Got him. So God got rid of it. I'll say it again. God got rid of, in Gideon's army, what was resident in the army of the Midianites. The Gideon was barley. Barley. See, if you keep on focusing, this is good for school children. This is good for some of my people that may not have a job or have the job you want. Stop focusing on how little you are. God's got something for you beyond what you think of you. You limit yourselves by focusing. But I ain't got an education. I don't know nobody. Every time I go, they turn me down. I ain't got this. Don't worry about that. If you're barley, God has a victory set up for you. Yeah, you do. Though Gideon was barley, his barley leadership exhibited a common grain of unity. And unity will always defeat the enemy, defeat division. On that day, the enemy was scattered. Now, I like where God had them to go. They went to Bethshita in Zareth and Abel-Meholah in Tabor. The Midianites, yeah, they went to these two places. You try saying them 3 times. Speaking in tongues, okay? The Midianites fled to Bethshita, house of acacia tree. We'll talk about it. In Zareth, oppression. Let me tell you, acacia is a tree that's sturdy. It'll last. God sends, God just something else. God sends the enemy to a place that will always remind them of who beat them up. They get to this place, and all they see is that acacia. Can't defeat that. No insects are getting to it. Because in study, just did a little bit of study, it sends out a certain substance, so even the insects don't want to get to it. It lasts. And he also sends them to Abel-Meholah, meaning meadow of dancing. Tabor, meaning celebrated. No, they just lost. They're not dancing and they're not celebrating. But guess who is? Gideon and his people are dancing on their tents and have now taken possession of all they used to have and are celebrating what God has done. See, we church people, we say, God has the wealth of the wicked laid up. I just said that. The wealth of the wicked laid up in their tents. And see, y'all got to believe it like I believe it. I believe that, look, here's the bottom line. Anything that God knows his people need, he's got it. And he'll do whatever he needs to do in order that we gain it. And so I'll say here, both of these places will remind the Midianites of the victory of God's people. God will be like in your face. God has fun. That when they thought that they would defeat God's people, hear me, Holy Ghost. Oh yeah. God protected them as acacia wood, and God gave them the victory, a celebration. Director. The barley battle will always be about you trusting God. You trusting God, watch this, in a place that looks like defeat. Come on now. How many times have you felt defeat, experienced defeat, but you're still here? That means God kept you anyway. God wants you to know that if you abide in him, if you are in unity with his spirit, that the victory is yours. Doesn't matter how much the enemy has.